And hello, everybody. I'm Ahab. Thanks for joining me for another episode of FM20, Football Manager 2020, Deportivo La Coruña. We are going to divide this episode into two parts. The first part, we're going to take a step back and do a little review, give a general update on what I've done over the past couple of match days and weeks, and go over the status of the club and the players in it, as well as the future of some of the players and what I'm looking to do. And then in the second part of in this episode, we will go into a very big game for Deportivo, which is a derby game, the Gallego Derby, versus Vigo, or Celta Vigo, as it's more commonly known in Europe. Apparently, it's a pretty big rivalry. I don't know if it's a friendly derby or not, but it's important to both sides, and it's definitely a game I would like to win to get the fans a little bit more behind me, especially because I'm lacking in one big area with regards to check marks for the board. So let's take a look at things here. We are into November here, almost December, in the first La Liga season after promotion. And we've had a pretty good run, if I do say so, especially with the players we have. First day we whooped up on Bilbao, had a tough match against Madrid, won against Eibar, drew against Valladolid, and then a couple of losses against Levante, an expected loss against Barcelona, although that was heavier than I wanted. Came back against Pamplona. That loss and that win there were in the previous episode, so definitely check that out if you haven't already. Then we had some good games against Villarreal, Compostela, which was a friendly, and pretty much a good run of things up until now, which is the derby match against Vigo. So we have Vigo, which we'll do in the second part of this episode, and then a pretty tough game against Real Hispalis coming up, and Madrid. So I might do an episode around those two games there, and we'll see, though. We'll see. So through the entire first season, which was in Liga Secundaria, and up until about, I want to say the Pamplona match, we were running a 4-4-2 with a traditional 4-4-2 with a roaming playmaker and a Carrilero in the middle. And I really felt like those two positions weren't doing much for the sake of the game. I really felt like they just weren't, as far as I could tell, they weren't having a big effect on the game. Now, that could be a combination of things. It could just be the way I have them set up. It could be the players. It could be both. But either way, they weren't really playing the way I wanted them to play. And I felt that they could be exerting more effect onto the game than the positions were allowing them to. So I made some changes right after the Pamplona match, or actually no, the Pamplona match was the first one I made the change to. Was it? No, I take it back. Villarreal was. I made a change after Pamplona. So let's take a look at that. It's still a 4-4-2 because that's what I'm dedicated to running in this particular save. I'm calling it ATG Maves 4-4-2. Maves because it's still based off of Bust the Net's Maves 4-4-2, and ATG because I've put my own little spin on it, and I just wanted to differentiate between the two. So we have, give me 1 second here. Sorry about that, a little frog in my throat. Make sure that I'm talking smoothly here. So what we have is a Maves 4-4-2. The pressing forward and the target man are stock from that. The role of wide midfielders is stock. The role of wingbacks is stock, and the ball-playing defender is stock, as well as a sweeper keeper. I changed the no-nonsense center back to a normal center defender, just because, for whatever reason, the players that I have weren't playing no nonsense center back that well. They kept stepping up for some weird reason when they really shouldn't be. And thankfully, out of the two different players I've had to have played that position, one of them, Vasily Ladropoulos, was failing miserably and continued to step up when he really shouldn't be. So I'm not sure why he kept doing that. I swapped the wide midfielders to attacking. That they exert a little bit more force on the game on the upper corners of the box here, and that's where things get pretty awesome. And then I changed the midfielders from a roaming playmaker and Carolero, respectively, to a box-to-box midfielder and a deep-lying playmaker. The DLP sits right about in the middle of the final third, and the box-to-box gets all up at the top of the box nicely. Unless I'm crushing in and, well, yeah, unless I'm crushing into the box with all my players, in which case they get pretty far in. But anyway, so what else did I change? Maves 442 is a balanced or positive system with a couple of different options to use depending on what you want to do. Whereas I have changed this to a modified Gegenpress. It's attacking, and I'm always running attacking. I do change it to positive if I feel like things are getting a little out of control, where there's a little bit too much back and forth. In possession, the play out of defense is the same. Work the ball into the box is the same. Slightly shorter and higher tempo passing and tempo are the same. Fairly wide attacking width is the same. Sometimes I bump that up to wide if I'm facing a team that is particularly narrow. Crosses I leave at low crosses. Sometimes I put it to mixed later on if there needs a little bit more variety. And then I definitely turn on be more expressive. If I notice that for some reason with work the ball into the box, if I'm not getting enough time in the final third, I'll turn that off. And for whatever reason, the past couple of matches, that's enabled my guys to get more time in the box and get some great shots on goal. Work the ball into the box doesn't necessarily make for, I don't know, they just don't get the ball into places where they can get good shots. In transition, typical counter press and counter with the goalie distributing to fullbacks and throwing it long. I've had our goalie throw some really nice, quickly distributed balls, even though I don't have distribute quickly, and it's led to some great chances and a couple of goals. Out of possession, changed the defend width from standard to narrow, pushed up to much higher on both the defensive line and the line of engagement, and up the pressing intensity to more urgent. And of course, we're still using the offside trap. So that has allowed us to pretty much gegenpress teams to death. And it's very interesting to see with the 4-4-2, especially in 2020 here, how things are going. The wide the wide midfielders are cutting in just a little bit, but they're not crushing space on the two midfielders. The wingbacks sometimes cut in a little bit too early, but I'm fine with that. I want to create overloads on the sides. And we're really having some good times. Really happy with the way it's playing now that I've changed this and they're starting to get used to it again. I have two other formations that I can switch to if needed. One is a 4-2-4, a little bit more traditional, where they're playing inverted wingers. I've left the roaming playmaker and the Carolero, but I'm probably going to switch those. Pretty much it's the Maves just bumped up a little bit. I use this formation against much weaker opponents, non-La Liga opponents. And then this third one, I'm not even going to really go into it, other than if you haven't seen FM Base's new tactic testing system, it's fantastic, or at least as far as I can tell, it's fantastic. This is a tactic that I just wanted to load into Football Manager 2020 and see what it was about. But basically, it's one of the highest rated tactics that was tested early on in FM Base's new system. And I will use this in a couple of other saves to see how well it does for real. But I'm actually going to clear that slot. allow them to focus on my primary two tactics here. Okay, so let's talk about transfers for a second, and specifically transfers in. Okay, so you can see we had a lot of transfers, a lot of transfers at the beginning of this season and throughout until now. So we've got a bunch of guys out on loan: Dejan Lekic, Gerard Valentin, La Cruz, and Calero. These are two wide midfielders that I'm keeping an eye on. I want to make sure they get game time. That's why I loaned them out. Valentin is a very viable right back that I will probably keep on hand. Pretty good stats for the most part, especially his determination is 18. A little on the older side, so actually take it back. I might not use him, but definitely will probably end up selling him. I don't know. I was hoping to hold on to him because he's a little bit younger. Both my right backs are in their 30s, and one of them had already mulled on retiring for some reason in the first season, but then that went away. It was just in like the update portion of the player screen. So more importantly, let's talk about the transfers in. So Chumi, I had planned on only using him as rotational, but he came in on a free, and he's rocking. 21-year-old. He's now my starting right center back. He's coming up big time, especially since Vasily Ladropoulos I'm not sure if Vasily is his first name, but Ladropoulos is definitely having an issue. Kieran O'Hara I picked up from Man United as my backup goalie. He's young. I might loan him out just so he gets game time and he doesn't start to stagnate his career, because I like having a backup keeper that's younger. He's not quite as young. Actually, my starting goalkeeper's younger, but compared to what we had a bunch of loanees in that were just poor, and the starting keeper I did not want to bring into La Liga, and thankfully he retired at the end of last season. Marcus Ingvartsen from Union Berlin is a pretty utilitarian striker. I just like all the green in his stats, and his 15 teamwork certainly doesn't hurt. He's nice and tall at 6'2", pretty strong, okay jumping reach, okay heading. He's a starting pressing forward now. He's worked his way into starting position, but can alternate as a target man if I need to have him there. Yanis Mergi, brought in from Auxerre. Pretty good stats again. I like the bravery and the teamwork and the work rate. Determination is okay as well. These stats aren't quite La Liga stats, so he hasn't worked his way into starting yet, but he's definitely my rotational pressing forward, and he's happy with that. And he's come up big once or twice. Vincent Marchetti, and Vincent Marchetti was a guy I picked up for the midfield, and he is my starting box-to-box midfielder right now. It's not necessarily his primary position. You can see DLP and Mazzala, and even advanced playmaker he should be playing, but he's coming up big for me on the box-to-box side of things. Mads Pedersen is my backup left back, a little bit younger than who I have out there. Louise is starting, but Pedersen is definitely going to be starting as soon as Louise either gets bought or decides to retire. And then Ryan Edmondson from Leeds. He came up on my search as a target man, and I needed somebody who was strong, at jumping reach, and okay heading. And some of his other stats are not that great. His passing is freaking atrocious, but he's coming up pretty nicely for us, and I'm liking the way he's developing. He's only 19 as well, and his determination, even though it's dropping at 14, is relatively solid, so I'm happy with that. I'm sure I could find somebody better. I might be able to sell him on. I brought him in for 7.75, but I'm sure I'll be able to sell him for a profit in the future, assuming they come sniffing when they do. I also brought in Alvaro Madran, and I'm actually not sure when I grabbed him. Maybe I got him on a free, but he's my starting DLP. He's not quite all over the place for a box to box, but he has come up big in the DLP with some great ratings in the past couple of matches, and he's really settling in nicely. On the wings, I didn't bring anybody in because Coruña is pretty stacked on the wings. On the left side, we've got Fede Cartabia, is an Argentine who likes to play inverted winger on the right. I'm playing him wide midfielder on the left because he's left only, and he's quick. And he gets around his guy, and he puts in a nice quick cross, and he has the most assists on the team thus far this season. He got injured, so he was out for 2 games, but 6 assists thus far is good enough for me. I've got, also on the left, I've got Edgar Akeche. Akeche was my starting left wide midfielder in the first season. Pretty solid and just ridiculous free kick taking. Both Akeche and Cartabia are just ridiculous on the free kick taking, even in La Liga. Honestly, I struggle between starting either one of them because they're both very, very good. Akeche had no problem staying. Cartabia wanted to go, but then nobody wanted to buy him, so he's like, okay, I'll stay. On the right-hand side, I've got a little bit of a selection issue. Alvaro Traver was my starting right midfielder, and he's pretty solid. And he ends up putting in much better performances than his stats really kind of say he should. Even a 3-star, his ratings definitely better than, I mean, look at this average rating. 8.24. 4 goals, 3 assists in the last 5 games. Average rating for the whole season in the first division, 7.70. I mean, that's just nuts. Just a great, great season for him thus far, and he was rocking it last season in the second division. I've been starting him because Borja Galan was injured, and I really like a big determination, but he's got some weak teamwork and weak work rate. So I'm kind of hoping somebody comes and wants to buy him. He's not that bad of a, honestly, he's pretty much of a steal, I think. Maybe a little expensive on the salary, but we can maybe loan him out and get some more time under his belt, because we've got Juan Luis Valor coming up, youngster. So he was a regen, as you can see by the face, but inverted winger on the left-hand side with a right-only foot. I don't play inverted winger. Actually, it says he can play wide midfielder on the left there. So what I've been training him to do is use his weaker foot, and hopefully I can play him there because he's 17 and he's going to develop into something nice. I mean, his stats have already gone up quite nicely, but yeah, I have him loaded onto the senior team. He plays his matches with the U19s, but he trains with the senior team, and he's had a couple of matches in the senior team, so he's going to come up big for us. I suspect somebody's going to come in and try to buy him. Unfortunately, kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place because he's got a minimum free release clause of $8,250,000, and if somebody finds that out, I'm sure somebody would come and pay that before too long. Another youngster I've got come up from the underage is the from the U19s is William Pena. His stats aren't quite as good as Valor's, but he is dominating in the striker position when in the U19 matches. So I've brought him up to the senior team to train with the senior team, and I've put him in a mentoring group with the strikers, and it's already coming up pretty well for him. No, I don't plan on playing him in any senior games, so he's pretty stuck at the U19 level match right now. But I wanted him training with the senior team just because his potential, I mean, as you can see, it's out of the park here. So let's talk about the future. Where are we weak, and where do we need to reinforce immediately? Well, I would say I'm happy with Chumi. I'm very happy with Chumi, and he's a youngster. He's younger. At 21, he's going to develop quite nicely. Soma is putting in some good performances. His stats are kind of all over the place. I don't know why they're so up and down, but he's pretty solid for me as a defender. 6'8", for whatever reason, Football Manager's 2020's ratings of defenders are pretty bad compared to previous seasons, but he's pretty solid. What I need is good rotation for the defense, and I need some youngsters to come in and start developing. I do have one in Mujahid Sadiq, but I'm not getting to play him enough, and I need to loan him out to get him to play more so he can get some experience, because training only does so well. Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to put him on the loan list. Yep. In the meantime, I've got Captain Alex Bergantinos. He's my rotational. I've moved him to the center back position because he's slowing down significantly, but the rest of his stats are still solid, and he's got great leadership. So I've been. It says he should play in the ball playing midfield, ball playing defender position, but he's just not quick enough, and it's an issue in general. His speed is an issue in general. Let's see here. So basically, what I'm saying is I'm going to be focusing on reinforcing the defense a little bit. I've got plenty of wingbacks here to play. Ruiz is doing very well as my starter. I pretty much have two starters in David Simon and Eneko Bovida for my right back position. But Bovida, he's starting to decline too. This is just kind of sad. So really, what I need to do is I need to get I need to get youngsters in that are good enough to start developing and play occasionally. Midfield, I feel like I could have some better wingers, or wide midfielders, I should say. Traver is pretty solid. I could keep him for another season or two before I need to upgrade. And Valor, I'll probably have him step in on the left here before too long and try to sell Cartabia and, or actually, no, I'm sorry, I take it back. Akeche and Traver could probably stick in there for another season or two. Valor, I'll hold on to. Cartabia and Borjavaya, I would probably sell them before too long. In midfield, I'm happy with Marchetti and Medran, but they're not going to be good enough in the long run. They're solid right now, but they're not going to be good enough in the long run. Edmondson and Ingvartsen as my starting strikers for now are good, but again, in the long run, I need to find players that are going to take us to the next level, going to take us into the Champions League, going to take us, to compete for top 4 of La Liga, etc. And I need to we need to build up some capital basically so we can invest in the facilities here, because Corunha's facilities are just they're not that great. Good training facilities, need those to be better. Better youth facilities, I really need those to be better, and I need the recruitment and academy coaching to be much better so we can really get this program going up in style, so to speak. So I have been scouting out some folks. Always keeping my eye on things, keep an eye out for folks that are deals, and I really haven't found too many deals at the moment. My scouts are out busy looking at everybody 2 or 3 times over to make sure we know what we're looking at here. But there's a lot of solid players out there that we can bring in. Unfortunately, prices are inflated. I'm sure I can eventually find some deals, but we've got issues right there. Look at that payroll budget. 3.5 million over budget, and transfer budget of 200K left. So that means I'm not going to be doing any January signings. Hopefully I can actually sell some players in January to get rid of some of that payroll deficit. Let's talk about Club Vision. You can see I'm struggling with my control over payroll. Now, the reason I kind of splurged on payroll is because I brought in some players, and I re-signed some players at higher amounts than I probably should have re-signed them at, honestly. But I needed them, or I felt like I needed those players because I couldn't find folks that I had confidence in that would do well in the positions I needed them in. So, yeah, there's that. Now, I'm very happy because hopefully they're delighted with all these other things that, especially with our position here in La Liga, that I get to keep my job at the end of the season or at the end of my contract. My contract, let me see here, expires at the end of the 21-22 season. So I get one more season on my contract, and I'm certain I can wrangle the payroll budget, especially if we place high enough in La Liga. Let's talk about money for a second. So I was very happy to find out that at the way La Liga does it, at least with regards to Football Manager 2020, is they say, okay, you're going to get X amount of dollars for TV revenue this season, and it's divided in half. You get a lump sum at the beginning, and then you get the rest of it sprinkled out throughout the season or at the end of the season. I don't recall. Judging by the profit and loss, it looks like nope. We got TV revenue coming in. Here we go. 2 million for TV revenue in this month. But we still came in under. We spent more than we had come in, unfortunately, and that's well, that is what it is. But we still got a good balance in the bank. We're going to make some good money at the end of the season, and hopefully we'll sell some players, so we'll be all right. I think we're still on track to meet financial fair play. Yeah, I mean, we're $55 million profit. Is that what they're saying? Yes. I don't really know how to read these screens in Football Manager, but I'm sure we'll be fine at the end of the season. Especially balance-wise, they'll be fine. The board will get happy. I don't really have any specific targets in mind with regards to players because I just don't know. You never know when that deal's going to come, and that's really what I'm looking for deal-wise. Actually, this screen is interesting to come to. I'm looking for defenders that their contracts are expiring, and there's some okay players with their contracts expiring soon. Like Carter Vickers, his contract's expiring at the end of the season if they don't re-sign him. And if he doesn't re-sign him, I'd like to try and snatch him up. He does have English. I don't know if that's going to count. I take that back. I don't know if that's going to count for EU, so I might not be able to sign him. But well, that's a shame. Now that I look at that. But yeah, so in order to make the budget or keep the budget in line, I'm always looking for free transfers or folks with, really low buyout clauses. Unfortunately, with this being the second season in here, a lot of those really good buyout clauses that you hear about at the beginning of the game are already addressed. What's his name? Tonali? Yeah, Sandro Tonali. Oh. Yeah. So, Sandro Tonali, at the beginning of the games at Brescia, or Brescia, I'm not sure how you pronounce it in Italian, but he had a clause, at least in my game, of 10 million, and I couldn't afford him. But for any big team, this is a guy you got to pick up at the beginning of the game. But those are the sort of players I'm looking for, is guys with release clauses, guys coming off a freeze. Hopefully, I can get some deals and rejuvenate the team with some younger folks, because that's the big concern for me. Is got a bunch of aging players that I've got to take care of again, and still. Goalkeeper is fine. David Simon at 31 is getting up there. I'm not going to re-sign Brigantinios. Ladropoulos is starting to decline. Eneko Boveda is still going strong, but I'd like to sell him. Ogu wants out. He's not playing enough, and I don't blame him. He's listed, even though I have a promise to play him. Vincente is also up there in age, and he's just not able to compete at this level. It's really more not being able to compete at this level. Bjornsson was old when I signed him, and comparatively, and his talent is not getting any better. He was solid for League Two or Liga Secundaria, but he's not good enough for La Liga, in my opinion. Gaku Shibasaki is unfortunate. It shows he's 4-star, but he's just not consistent enough for me to do what I need. And really, what the issue is the bravery and aggression. He leaves off of balls in the middle of the field and lets the other team grab him. And he's valued at 20 million. I really wish somebody would come on. Maybe I could sell him. I'm just not playing him enough. I really would like to, though. He's a pretty good player, but not doing well enough for me. Like to get rid of Borja, Gayan, and I mean, as talented as both these guys are, I really would like to sell them and get some better players. And Christian Santos, just not really cutting it in the first league, and we'll see where the players really go there. So, like I said, coming up in part 2, we're going to have our derby match against Vigo, Celta Vigo. It's at home, and it looks like it's going to be rainy and cool. So that really plays well with our 4-4-2. We just start kicking long balls, and they just go wherever we want them to, and it turns out really good. A lot of the wet weather games we tend to do very well in. So I think I'm going to pause here, and we will load up Vigo in just a little bit, and I'll be back. Okay, and we're back here for our derby match against Vigo, coming right up here in a moment. Are set to play in nice rainy weather, which, as I said previously, works well with our 4-4-2 position. Let's go to see how we're starting today. Typical up front, Ingvartsen and Edmondson starting up front. Traver gets the start on the right wing. Cartabia gets a start on the left wing because Akeche is injured. Damaged his heel and he had to sit out a couple of days. Everything else is pretty much standard. I'm giving Simone start over Bovida because he's been playing really well. Bovida can play pretty much anywhere in the back, so that's good. Pedersen is a sub for my left. Some nice solid subs in the middle. And Galan came back from injury, so I want to get him some time. And Santos is my my substitute striker. O'Hara, I'm leaving in place even though he's slightly injured. He's returning to full fitness tomorrow. So if for whatever reason Uzoho gets injured or needs to come out, I can put O'Hara in, and I don't think I'll be too concerned about that. So without further ado, let's hop into these matches. Oh, that's right. I offered a trial to him. Apparently, this person thinks I'm much better when sticking to a plan. Social media aspect that they've added in is just kind of since FM19 or maybe it was 18, I don't recall, but it's yeah, it's curious. All right, Sevilla dropped some points against Girona. That's nice. Madrid hammered Valladolid, which is to be expected. Oh, all right. Here are some scouting ops. Oh, man. That would be a steal. That would be a steal. What position does he play? Oh, AMC. That's a shame. That's a shame. Gonna add him to the short list to see what comes up there. Going to, I've got to review these later because I'm definitely looking. It's not bad. Solid players for the prices. you start showing any sort of ability or you have any higher... That's not bad. A loan from Z. I love that Juventus is called Zebra. Ooh. Contracted to Celtic. Add him to the short list as well. That's somebody I'm going to have to keep an eye on. Solid stats, actually 61%. Keep scouting him. Sorry, I get sidetracked easily when I see people, see players that I want. All right, Barcelona pulls out a win. Cancelo sent off in the 15th minute. Okay. I've already gone over the starting, so away we go. All right, so I did some scouting, or I did some reviews of how they play, and these wingers don't push up quite as hard as some of the other teams those do, so we might not be able to exploit the spaces back here. Beltran is a solid defensive midfielder as far as I recall, so we're going to have to be a little bit more creative, I think, in getting our goals in this match. Go out and impress me, lads. Faith in you. Faith in you. I have faith in you. All right, got some green. Tunnel. It's Derby Day. How much do you look forward to taking on your local rivals? I always look forward to derbies, personally. Take them there. All right, and here we go. I've changed the camera from 2D to sliding horizontally. Looks like they've improved the match engine, and it's definitely glides a lot better than it had been. So let's see how this goes. They are pulling on to possession. Actually, their defensive wingers were pushing up nicely there. So if we can get a counter on the wings, we might be able to get something there. Suarez gets a yellow card. Man, in the second minute, that must have been a crazy foul. All right, so their striker's playing a DLF or a false 9. He's coming back. Ooh, that was a nice header. Madran puts in the nice cross, and that was a nice, powerful header. Oh, great stop from Muzoho. Got lucky there. All right, I got to figure out what's going on here. This is a little bit too back and forth for my liking. Traver with the flat kick. Another great header, but their goalie is up for the challenge today. Oh, here we go. Traver running down the wing here. And I'm thinking Edmondson was offside. Yes, he was. Great pass, but way offside Edmondson. So they're sitting back. Their wingers are pushing up, especially that right winger of theirs. My left side, or our left side, I should say. Oh, Traver, what was that? Come on. All right. There we go. There's some movement. There's some good balls. Come on. Oh, Barton with a nice shot, but saved by Ruben Blanco. Great movement there off the ball. Man, and another guy's a machine. Gonna have him rated something crazy. All right, we're pressing them to death here, but see how well that does. Oh, nice stop by Soma. Great tackle. Oh, just over by Travers, not the best header, but he's in that spot. That's where we want that ball to go. And if he can get it down on his feet, that's going to be a rocket. Oh, 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 oh. Ooh, it's a good tackle on us. All right, all right. I like these miscues from them. Edmondson can normally muscle out the defensive player there. It's a bad pass. Going to give it all demand more shout because they're playing well. It's just not well enough. Oh, Cartabia with the run. Come on, buddy. Oh, great shot. Blocked again by Ruben Blanco. The one-on-ones are just nuts. I still think goalies are a little OP when it comes to one-on-one. Oh my gosh, we almost had a goal there. Oh, oh my gosh, two great opportunities, and we're just not making them. All right, let's give it a couple more minutes here, and I'm going to make some changes. Uzoho comes up with a good stop. I have a lot of confidence in this Uzoho goalie of ours. I'm very happy with him, even as young age. Yes, this is not good. Oh, and he pulls it. That's not over the top. All right. What we're going to do is they're starting to do some over the top stuff. I'm going to pull us back just a little bit. And in possession, let's try passing in the space to see if that helps. Normally with passing the space, you can find out pretty quickly in the higher leagues if it's going to work for you or not. That's it. Boom shakalaka. Over the top. Bartson with a great one-on-one goal. I'll take that. Artabia. Over the top with his weaker foot. And it says he's left only. You know what? I'll take it. Yeah, we're going to stick with that for now because I would like to see if I can run up the score a little bit. How are we doing on ratings here? Everybody's pretty solid. Edmondson is he's okay, but he's not nothing to be too concerned with. Traver, you could have controlled that. Come on, buddy. Oh, Suarez offside. Oh, Suarez is a winger? And he got a yellow card at 2 minutes? What the hell did he do? Oh, now we have a yellow. Fran Tran. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Oh, another one over the top. Let's go. Let's go, buddy. Nice. 2 goals for Ingvartsen. Over the top, running away from defenders. Ruiz just dropping it like it's hot. Bartson runs onto it. And I think the goalie jumped the wrong direction there. Oh, that's trouble. Their AMC is just in between the defensive line and the midfield line for us. That could be an issue. That's offside. No, that wasn't offside. All right. All right, we're making some good moves in the middle. I'll take that. I knew that was coming. Santimina was getting all sorts of space in the long balls. This was just a nice cross, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah. Denis Suarez is a solid player. That was just a failboat on the defense part. Yeah, Soma gets a ding to his rating for the match. All right, guys. 41 minutes. Let's see if we can get one more before the half here. Right to the goalie. But you know what? Solid shot. What I'm really happy about is that the shots are coming from locations that have a higher percentage chance of going in the actual net as opposed to, shots being taken from all angles. Come on, guys, get it out of there. Another yellow card for them. They're just fouling. Oh, come on. All right. Oh, that was training ground play right there, and fortunately the header just wasn't good enough. All right. Uh-oh. Suarez was injured. Poor guy. What did he do? It's like looks like Simone tricked him out of his ankles and broke his ankle. All right, let's see here. It's 2-1. Not a great score. Don't let it happen, guys. Oh, that's a bad one. All right. Let's give an old passionate I believe in you. Uh-oh. Chumi looks stressed. Right, everybody's looking motivated. Bartson. Good. Change him to happy. All right. Let's keep this up, guys. Got this. I have to sub Soma here. He continues his rating slide. It's a solid challenge on their part. It's hoping for a penalty, but sometimes defense actually is good. All right. You know what's funny is I have cross-aim target man, but Bartson is getting all these headers in the right position. Yes, they are. He was way outside. That's funny. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Well, that's all right, but need 1 minute here. Be right back. Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that. See how this cross defense or this corner defense goes. It could not keep his header down. All right, got to change some things up here. So, uh-oh, that's trouble. I didn't know Ayoze Perez was on Vigo. Perez is a solid player. And you know what? tell him to be a little bit more expressive up front. And let's just try playing a little bit wider and see what happens. Might be our undoing here, but Yosi Perez could be trouble. Is he playing? He is the AMC. That is trouble. Before I continue talking him up, let me make sure that's the same one. Yes, that is the same one. All right, we're getting the ball back. Ketty sending. Oh, that's a foul. Oh, is he going off? Yes, second red card. Or second yellow. Oh, wait, was that a straight red? Was that a straight red for him? I don't even know what to make of that. I'm happy about it. I'll take it. I'll take it. There we go, guys. Yes, and oh, Cartabia should have scored. He really should have scored that. Let's take this game away from them, guys. What? Feeling lucky there, Cartabia? All right, so how are they playing? They're playing nobody on the right wing, hoping. It's curious. Nobody on that right wing. I'm gonna tell Simon to overlap that. That should be quite dangerous for us. Oh, why didn't you shoot? Go! Oh, that was some great. Travers showed a shot, but that was still some great action. And this goalie of theirs is coming up Millhouse for them. Oh, Ingvartsen just offside. They have some solid passing going on here. This is not good. All right, good thing Uzoho was on his game there. There we go. Cross it. Oh! Should have centered that into, I think Ingvartsen sitting in the middle there. All right, we're holding them up front. I'm liking this. It doesn't mean can't all change. Luis Ruiz is doing some magic on the left side there for us. Ina is offside once again. Thank you very much. Nice try on the long shot there, Marchetti. Ooh! Managed to get a finger on that. This goalie is just a wall today. Good Lord, look at all these stops he's doing. This is like Guillermo Ochoa performance. All right. See. get some earlier crosses in. That'll help. It really is a great spell of dominance for us. Traver and Ruiz are just dominating alternate sides of the field. What? Who? Oh, Edmondson with the gigantic head over. Oh well. All right, so they have now reinstituted the 3 up front, so I'm going to tell him to stop running. All right. Normally, I don't like to do this, but Traver's getting a little tired. This could be my undoing. Tabia is doing okay. Let's just get Shibasaki some time here. Just a couple minutes. That should help, I think. Fielders are... And just do calm, gain confidence. Malo was way offside, thank God. Edmondson, you're in the county over, buddy. All right, let's just take this home, guys. Mina is just perpetually offside in this match, and it's really helping. Shibasaki just has the ball taken from him all the time. It's another reason why I haven't really been playing him. Oh, great stop from Uzoho, and they were not able to capitalize on that. Come on, guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, yes, he pulled it. Oh, thank the Lord. Thank God, and all that sort of stuff. I'm sitting here clutching my hands. Oh, he was, of all the, Ingvartsen's offside. I can't believe that. That's just nuts. Ooh, almost a shot. Almost a great free kick there from Shibasaki. And it was offside again. Didn't go for it. I don't mind that. Oh, come on, guys. Yep, let it run. Let it run. All right. We've seen it to its end. 2-1. The Gallego Derby. Gallego Derby. Very, very happy about that. Team played really well. I tell them that was a good win. And I'm going to tell these guys tell Louise he was good. Bart's in that spectacular, and that Traver. As I said, Traver just comes up really, really well. I only do individual talks to guys that have good ratings. I don't do individual talks to everybody at the end of the match. All right, there we are. That bumps us up into Champions League spots. What a way to move up the table. We're just on a great run. The changes I made to the formation are really working well for us. I'm really happy with the way things are going. So I'm going to end this episode here. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Hope to see you again in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.